Hey, you guys, welcome to our Tuesday night class. We're excited to have you here with us tonight. If you wouldn't mind going ahead and putting in the chat where you're joining from and who invited you, it's a great way for us to be able to let the person know that you were here with us. And we love being able to follow up and making sure if there's anything that you guys have questions about, please put that in the chat. This class is being recorded, and you'll be able to find the recording in both our Good Vibes Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel, which we will give you the link for that at the end of class. Because we are recording it, we're asking that everybody stay muted and put your questions in the chat. A lot of times when we have classes like this, something may come to mind and you're like, oh, I just have this question. Go ahead and put those in the chat. There are people that are here who can answer those questions, or if not, we can always follow up at the end of class. We will have a time where we'll be able to share testimonials and just see what other questions you guys might have at the end. All right, so tonight is a really great topic, and I'm super grateful to be able to teach this class. I don't know about you, but I feel like there was a time in my life when I was running around like a hot mess. And everything would trigger me, and I would just like the littlest things. Like I could handle big things, but it was the little things that would just set me into a tailspin. And in some cases, you guys, it would take me days or weeks to get over it or to be able to adjust my mood or just be able to calm myself down. Well, I'm super grateful for the journey that I've been on because it's given me tools and different things that I can use to bounce back quicker. And part of it is just remembering or trying to understand why is it happening and why do certain things make me so sensitive, or why do I get upset over the little things? And so as we go through class tonight, I hope that we're able to give you some ideas of what you're experiencing. For some, it may feel like we don't have the power to change. Like this is what we've always known. Like this, and I'm sure you guys all have a friend or somebody that you know who is like, oh, well, we better be careful because they will get really upset really fast. Or you got to watch what you say around her because she takes everything really personal. And in a lot of cases, you guys, it's because of the patterns and the habits that we have um, grown to know and understand. And maybe it's a way to survive, or maybe it's a protection of that fight or flight. My mind just takes me to a place where, gosh, I got to be protected. And so, like I said, we're going to come up with a lot of different things. And so get ready, buckle in, because here we go. All right. So how does stress show up in your body? Now, I love this. This is super interesting to me because there was a time when I would have gone, oh, yeah, my stomach is upset, but it has nothing to do with my mood. Or I always have a constant headache, but it has nothing to do with the stress that I'm going through. All of these different things come up at different times in different ways. And we're going to talk about some of the things that and how stress shows up in your body. So for me, it's like across the shoulders, or I used to go to get a massage and she'd always say, gosh, relax your shoulders, take a deep breath. And I didn't know that I was even doing that, or that was a place that I would store energy, tension and things. I have some people that I work with who always have an upset stomach. And, when you start talking about diet, they're like, well, it has nothing to do with my diet. And I'm like, okay, well, it's probably a lot of things that you're thinking about or trying to digest on an emotional level. And so, what happens if we keep things the way that they are? Like if we continue to run at 110 miles an hour, we continue to take things really personal. We continue to go in a fight or flight. We're not getting proper sleep. We're not getting proper nutrition. Some of those things can show up in our body in different ways. And this chart here on the right-hand side, I love because it shows us that when you are super stressed all the time, it has a lot of stress that happens on your heart and your brain. Or if you are somebody who has dealt with a lot of grief, and you guys, grief is something that comes whether we want it or not. But what we get to learn is, how do we handle it? How do we process through it to where it isn't something that I continue to hold on and I continue to let it work me up, that maybe I get to spend time outside, or I mean, there's so many different things. And as we go along, maybe if you guys feel like putting things in the chat, I would love to hear what you guys do. But the problem with it is if we live a life of anger and hate and discontent, chances are you're going to have a weak liver. This can also affect your kidneys, your gallbladder. And one thing I know for sure is the body keeps score. You guys, there's books that are written on it. And as I start to read through and I listen, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like describing so many things, or situations that I've dealt with, or situations that somebody that I love has dealt with. So now what do we do? So globally, suicide is the fourth leading cause of death among ages 15 to 29. You guys, when I first saw this, I was like blown away with it. Could that be true? Like, what does a 15-year-old really have to worry about? And then you start looking at the peer pressure and you start looking at social media and how everybody is judging everyone and people are being bullied and the need to be an achiever or have straight A's or do certain things is real. And I think the struggle and the comparison starts younger and younger. As a matter of fact, I was at a meeting not too long ago and they were talking about 7-year-old 8-year-olds who had tried to commit suicide, and I'm like, what? Like I couldn't really comprehend it. I know that when I was that age, I was outside playing in the dirt, making mud pies, literally making mud pies, riding my horse and doing all kinds of things. And so life has really changed. And I want you to think about what is the thing what's the biggest change? I mean, social media and living on games and not being, outside in nature is one of them. So 284 million people suffer from anxiety of some kind or disorder worldwide. Now, I want to point out that that's reported. There are so many people, probably myself included, that haven't gone to the doctor and said, hey, I need to have some support. I'm super emotional. My moods go up and down really quick because that was where I was. And when I used to first start teaching my classes before doTERRA, I used to describe myself as a bucket full of mess. The big things didn't bother me. It was the little things that did. And so that's a huge thing. And I just kind of, pulled up my pants and thought that that's what life was all about, just to make the best of it. And then we're going to skip down to substance. Substance use is over 11 million deaths annually and 1 in 5 deaths globally. You guys, these numbers are alarming, and it's probably gone up since this study was done. And that's one of the biggest passions that I have for learning about natural wellness and what are some of the things that we can do instead of some of the over-counter or prescription drugs because of their side effects and how they affect our bodies long term. And so now I'm going to go to the middle part of here where if you aren't aware of David R. Hawkins, you guys can go into Google and just search his name. He's done a lot of studies about our lives and how many of us are living, in enlightenment, in peace and joy and happiness and love, and how many of us are dealing with things like fear and grief and guilt, and the lowest of the vibrations are shame or and so what are some of the things that we can do, because we want to be able to raise our emotions and our energy. I mean, you can, when somebody walks into a room, you can usually feel like, are they sad, are they happy? You just know, like, I don't even know what's going on, but something's going on. They feel a little off. Well, because our energy never lies, we may want to mask it. We may, say, oh no, everything is fine. But people who really know us are able to distinguish the difference between a cover up or this is how I really feel. Now, on this chart also are some of my favorite essential oils, rose being the highest vibration oil that there is. This one, you guys, is love, and it's like unconditional love in a bottle. There's a lot of people don't understand why brides carry roses in their bouquets, and it's because of the natural essence that goes out and has an effect of calming and loving. It's like somebody just put a big blanket of love around the group of people. And even if it's just for that day, there is a really great awareness and emotions are calmed. Then we have frankincense, which is the oil of truth, which we're going to talk more about. Forgive is another really great one. And so I want to just kind of talk to you guys a little bit about some of the effects on our body that if we're dealing with a lot of like fearfulness or grieving or anger, you're more likely to have seasonal allergies or seasonal effects. If you are somebody who's walking around feeling super overwhelmed or stressed, or maybe stressed or confused to the point where, gosh, I've got so many things going on in my life, I don't even know where to start, then you may be apt to having more colds or upper respiratory issues. If you're somebody or somebody that you know feels judged or is super anxious, you guys know anybody who's just always like anxious of, oh, what if this happened? What if that happens? Where, well, are we supposed to go this way? Or, I mean, I definitely have people in my circle that are like that. They may have a lot of digestive issues. Um, and then self-critical. So many people love to judge themselves. I often talk about the inner voice, that prank caller, that chatter that goes on in your head that is always kind of questioning what's going on around you, or, where are those thoughts? It's like, okay, I can always find something, right? And so that mind chatter and can cause headaches or, stress and tension, especially in the upper body. So as we move through this, and all this, you guys, is awareness of, gosh, I have somebody who, has a lot of stomach issues. And so we'll talk about diet. Well, when you look at their diet, they may be eating things that are quite fine and they don't cause any kind of irritation to the stomach, but yet they still have stomach issues. And so then we could look deeper into, maybe they overanalyze things, or maybe they're super pessimistic or fearful all the time. And when you start to worry and things, that stuff goes into the gut. Okay, so now, did you know that 1 drop of essential oil can impact over 40 million trillion molecules? Because of their chemical compounds, our body knows that there's something that is natural, so it doesn't look at it like a prescription or something that's been chemically altered or has a bunch of different synthetics in it. Our body naturally will say, okay, no, like this isn't good, you've got to stop it from working. Where when we smell or use an essential oil, because it's 100% natural, it's able to go in and start working right away. Now, essential oils act as little messengers that can actually disrupt old emotional patterns. So many of us, you guys, our emotions are automatic or automated. So you may hear a song, watch a movie, have a conversation, even see a person, and instantly you go into a flashback of a situation or a feeling. And then what we want to be able to do is change the story. Because our emotional responses have become habits, these patterns and habits are stored in the memory bank. So without even thinking about it, we can have that smell or something and we instantly go into a certain way. So now I want to remind you guys to, number one, be aware of your thoughts. Think about, what are the things that I'm thinking? Is it positive or does it have a negative effect? I also want you to be aware of the language and the words that we use. So many times, like today, I did a bunch of different appointments. And as people were talking to me and we were working through different things, I would listen to the words that they were saying. Something as simple as, oh, I just don't like drinking water. And I'm like, what if we change that to, I love drinking water? How would her mind start showing up differently to get a different result? So a lot of times they will help us to change the way we're thinking. It changes the way that we're talking. And if we can catch ourselves in these old patterns, then we can anchor it to an aroma. So say sleep is a great example. There was a time when I would say, well, I wasn't a good sleeper. Like I 100% was not a good sleeper, but yet I wanted to be a better sleeper. So I started saying out loud and telling other people, I am such a good sleeper. I sleep better than a baby. And there's part of me that's going, oh, yeah, you're a little liar. Like, you're not, that is not true. But the more I said it, the more that I started to believe it. And guess what, you guys? I'm a great sleeper now. So there's so much power in what we're thinking and what we're speaking. And it actually starts to have credit. So these essential oils, when we're partnering with them, we can get a different result. Okay, One of the greatest weapons against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. You guys feel free to take screenshots of any of the stuff that's up here as great reminders of, I think that if we can choose in those moments, because even when we're faced with something like grief or something really difficult or very sticky, what if we just look at it different? One of my most powerful things in changing my story or my journey is how things work, how things are happening for me instead of to me. And I've had to change that. And then if I hear people say, gosh, what if this is actually happening for us? So the power of our thoughts are really key. So now if we go into the olfactory system, essential oils go through our nose. It goes up to the brain. It tells the brain what to do or how to react. Now, because our emotions and our memories are in the amygdala, that's why those verbal things or those being able to write things are able to change the story. Now, if we look at the limbic system, essential oils are able to activate, which can help us to awaken or release things that have happened in the past. Have you ever been in a situation, maybe you're, walking by a store or a bakery or something, and you smell fresh baked bread and it takes you to a memory of your childhood? Or or it might make you sad. It might make you super happy. You guys, these are things that are in our limbic system. And what I love about essential oils is we can, use that oil to either enhance the experience or to change the experience. So when I was a little girl, I remember going to a funeral and we were in the car in the back seat. I mean, I was little, so I wasn't really sure what was going on around me, but I remember two things. One song played over and over, it seemed like. So as I was growing up and in, high school and everything else, whenever I would hear that song, it would instantly take me to that in the backseat of the car and those emotions and all the feelings. So as I've gotten older and I've understood how we can change the story, then I have purposely listened to the song and smelled essential oils like wild orange or, any of the citrus oils, any of the floral oils, because it helps to change the emotion around it and then to be able to find joy. So here's just a quick picture of however you want to look at it, whether it's your essential oil that goes to the limbic system. We have a chemical response. Then we have an emotional response, which then our body has a physical response. Now it goes through the nose and it just this is showing the different ways and the different places that it goes. Okay, now we want to talk about the power of aroma. Often I have worked with people who have anosmia, which is they've lost their sense of smell. So the question comes up, well, because I can't smell it, does it do me any good? And the answer is yes. Just because we can't smell it doesn't mean that our brain isn't having that experience where it goes up, you smell it, and our body knows fight or flight. Like, okay, do I need to run or is everything okay? Am I safe or am I not safe? So the way that this can work also is somebody, whether they can smell or not, can pick up a lemon, and as soon as you start to peel back the rind, their mouth will start watering. They have that sense of something just changed. And in a lot of cases, especially with citrus, there could be a smile. So whether people can smell it or not, they still get the benefit. Now, this is why we're bringing up the sense of smell, is because when we're diffusing our essential oils, our sense of smell is 10,000 times more sensitive than any of our other senses. So why we love the sense of smell is because if we're using a diffuser and say you're going into an office meeting and it's going to be really intense, maybe if you had essential oils that were super calming. So any of the floral oils, the citrus oils would be really great. Any combination of that would be calming, not only you who is smelling it, but everyone in the area who's able to smell it. Now that sense of smell can also work for our immunity or mood. It can have an effect on our stomach and the way that we're processing things. I love being able to diffuse and using the essential oils aromatic. Now, you don't have to just have a diffuser. You can also put them in your hand. So one of the things that I love to teach, people will come in and they're like, okay, I'm feeling XYZ. And I'm like, okay, let's find the specific oil that will work for, changing the way you're feeling. I'll put a couple of drops in their hand. And even if somebody's going, okay, my left shoulder hurts or my, big toe or whatever, I'm like, okay, let's put it in your hand first. Rub your hands together, cup your hands over your face, and take 2 or 3 deep breaths. Like really breathe it in and then breathe it out. And anytime, you guys, if you're getting ready to go have a conversation with somebody, or maybe you're getting ready to give a presentation or, talk in public, try this. Put the oils in, smell it, and just see how you can feel your whole body relax. And so that sense of smell is really important. Now, you guys, if you're watching the replay of this promotion is for June 2025. Why I have these 2 essential oils up on here at this point is because for a limited time, you can get a endless summer, which is like sunshine in a bottle. When you look at all the essential oils, so it has green mandarin, grapefruit, coconut, and it's a really great blend of just the captivating sense of everything summer, vacation, fun, late nights, early mornings, long walks. It's super uplifting. And this essential oil is available while supplies last. It's in a 15 ml bottle, and there are 250 drops. So if you are maybe, I'm going to say, maybe you're somebody who has had a surgery on your knee and you're stuck in the house and you want to be outside where it's sunny and it's happy and it's fun, or maybe in your yard doing gardening or something, and you can't, why not bring that scent into your home and have those senses wake up and be happy? That's what that scent of that smell will do. Plus, I love anchoring a scent to an occasion. So if we're having a gathering, or maybe it's a graduation party, or, a baby announcement or a birthday party, when you diffuse this in that area, and then you have a lot of fun and you're laughing and it's just a great time, and then later you diffuse it again, guess what? It's going to bring up those really happy moments. And then we're going to talk about frankincense. So we have 2 ways that you're able to get this 5 ml bottle of frankincense for free. What we love about frankincense is it is the when in doubt, you get the frankincense out. People use it for mind clarity. People use it for mood boosting. There is so many really great benefits of this. And at the end of class, we're going to tell you how you can get that for free. I love this oil. It is a daily use for me, whether I'm putting a drop, on my thumb in the roof of my mouth, or I'm putting it in my skincare, or I'm just applying it to my body. I love it in so many different ways. So we'll talk more about that in a minute, but I wanted to make sure that I showed you guys the promotions for this month. Okay, now we're going to jump into some of the different things that we have to support all kinds of different mind and mood. And this is for our mental wellness, to take ourselves from, how we're feeling, if it's anxious or whatever, to feeling okay. Like we can actually do this. And this is where, when we're doing affirmations and words, like we're flipping the script from, gosh, I'm constantly the person who has bad luck, or I just have so many things going on. I'm just so overwhelmed. Like, when is it going to slow down? What if we changed it to all good things happen to me? Like, I love having a lot of things to do because that means I get to get up and get busy, and I get to really, have a life that's full. Knowing when to say enough is enough. Like, okay, what's most important for me to do today? And then either let the other go or put it on the list for tomorrow. So the adaptive system is one that I have fallen in love with. This is the coping blend. Basically, there are 2 different delivery systems here. Now, the essential oil and the roller are exactly the same blends. One of them is in a roller bottle, so it's easy to wear like a perfume. You can put it, behind your ears. I love putting it on my wrist. I love, rolling it across my chest or over my heart. I will usually roll it in my hands and then take a few really great deep breaths. You'll see that there's also a 15 ml bottle, which has 250 drops. So the difference between those 2 for me, you can use them both topical or in, diffusing or whatever. But I like the roller because it's easy to wear like a perfume. And the drops, I like to be able to put in, bath soak. I love to put it in my diffuser. I love using it to make different recipes and different things, adding it to, my unscented lotion, or sometimes, gosh, I'll use it all different ways. So this one has, you can see the essential oils on the left. So they're not only helping us to be calm and soothed emotionally, but they also have essential oils that lift us up and kind of give us that invigoration. So when I first saw things, I'm like, well, why would you want to be lifted up when you're trying to calm down? You guys, well, you can be happy and calm. Right? You don't have to be stressed out. And so I love that it has neroli, magnolia. Now, magnolia, you guys, if you look at that oil by itself, it's really great. It's kind of like I'm going to say a step up from lavender. You can use it for swelling. You can use it for calming. I love this one applied across my chest. And so no wonder I love this roller bottle, which has all of those in it. Now, on the right-hand side, we have the capsules. Now, the capsules are a completely different blend. As you can see, the ones that are listed, and this one is meant to take internally. The essential oil blend is not meant to take internally, even though you could. You're going to get much better results by using the capsules. And you'll also see that the oil is more for your thought and your emotions, where the capsule is more for your neurological and biochemical functions. Now here we're going to not only take the 15 and the 10 ml. So this just gives us more ways to use them, helps us to feel more tranquil. It has a really calming effect. So this would be great for if you know somebody, going in for a job interview, or maybe they've, got to have a serious conversation with a friend, or maybe you and your kids are going to have a sit down and it's like, okay, let's first set up the mood. Let's everybody put it in our hands, take a few deep breaths, and then let's have our conversation. Now, on the right-hand side, I love having the adaptive capsules, but you guys, I use Serenity and Copaiba capsules also in my just mood management and being able to be calm. And so what I love about these, you guys, is it's not something that's going to be like a sedative. So it's not like a lot of capsules out there who just numb you and mask everything that's going on around you so you don't have any emotions. What these do is they just calm us. So I use the adaptive capsules when I have, something a little bit more intense. Like if I'm speaking in public, I may take an adaptive capsule, a Serenity capsule, and a Copaiba capsule. Now, when I'm getting ready for bed, I will take the Serenity capsule and an adaptive. Usually it's 2 Serenities at night, maybe a Copaiba, but you can use really any combination of these. And like I just going to mention that everybody's bodies are different. So always start with less and then work yourself up to more. If you're finding that you're taking one Serenity and it's not doing any good, well, then you have the option to take 2, or maybe take one Serenity and one adaptive, because they're really going to address different parts of your body and different things that you are going through. And so these are amazing products. Okay, now we're going to go into forest bathing. I love one of my favorite things to do, you guys, is to go up in the mountains where it's just there's no internet, there's, lots of trees, there's water running. And so one of the things that I've done to help myself in times when things are a little sticky, or maybe, I'm a little rushed, or life is just happening at a fast pace, or maybe, I don't know, whatever the story is. I've gone up to our canyon. I took my Shinrin Yoku with me. I opened it up, put it on my perfume, rubbed it all over, put it in my hands, took a few deep breaths, sat down on the ground, and then I took a 1 minute or 1 to 2 minute video of the trees and the birds chirping and the water running down the creek. And the best part about that is when you heard me earlier saying, talking about anchoring into a feeling or an emotion, is when I am feeling super rushed, or things are just starting to go a little sideways and I need to reset, I will get into a quiet place. Now you can go into your car. Sometimes I'll go into the bathroom. I'll take the Shinrin Yoku. I'll get it out. I'll take a few deep breaths. I listen to the video, and it's amazing how in just a minute or two, I can go, Okay, let's do this. Let's go back out and face the world. Now, this one is really great for lowering blood pressure, easing tension or feelings of anxiousness. There's also essential oils in there that help to boost the immune system. So when we very first started talking, we talked about if you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or confused, or you overanalyze, those are all things that can knock down your immunity, which could cause upper respiratory issues or colds and coughs and things. When we look at the list of essential oils that are in here, we have lemon, really cleansing, right? And it helps to open up our, receptor sites and keep our body functioning properly. We have patchouli, which is super great for getting grounded and really anchoring into purpose and being present. Gosh, we have cypress, magnolia, hinoki, lavender, and grapefruit. As you look into each one of these, you'll understand why this is the forest bathing blend. And the reason that they came up with this and forest bathing is because people are tied to their electronics. People are spending more and more time on their electronics and less time in nature getting grounded. And so we needed to be able to have something that could, by the scent of smell, take us into that feeling of groundedness and into the trees. Earlier today, I was working with a gal and she says, gosh, I just feel like I'm scattered, like I'm all over the place. And I'm super self-critical. Like I always have these high expectations and I always feel like I'm letting myself or letting other people down because of these situations. And so part of this was close your eyes and imagine yourself being a tree with the roots going really deep down into the ground. So no matter what's coming at you during the day, you may sway a little bit, like as things are kind of getting, windy and stuff, you may sway, but you're completely staying grounded in who you are. And I love the feeling of just being able to close my eyes, smell that smell, and just be totally safe, totally grounded, and let all of that overwhelm just go past me. Okay, doTERRA also has an incredible line of essential oils that are their emotional aromatherapy. You guys, just looking at the names of each one of these, you wouldn't need to really know anything else about them except for what does motivate mean to you? Like, when would you use motivate? Well, there's days when I just don't feel like getting up and going, right? So maybe I need to get that motivation on. This is super, uplifting. It's going to help increase your energy, especially if you're feeling a little stagnant or discouraged, or maybe it's cloudy outside. And then if you want to be excited about it, right? Let's try a drop of cheer and motivate. So you're going to be happy about getting up and getting going. All right. So passion. Passion could be passion for life, passion for a new experience, passion for, getting your job done or your work done or doing the laundry. So if you need to put a little bit of extra fire in that, let's have a really great attitude, then you could do cheer, motivate, and passion. I love that you can layer these and you can combine what you need. So console, you guys, like a big old huge hug in a bottle. There are days and times when it's like, I don't need anybody to ask me what's going on or if I'm okay. I don't want to talk about it, but I just want to feel consoled or hugged. And so this one is that huge hug. Peace. I'm just going to say peace of mind, right? Peace of heart, peace. So when you want peace of mind, you could take that peace essential oil and put it across your forehead because that is the closest place to our brain and our mind and our thoughts. And so that will help bring those thoughts down. You guys, these are amazing. And so this kind of breaks it down into which products are in each of these essential oils. So you'll notice that citrus oils are very uplifting. They're very happy. They're very motivating, as well as some of the mints. You can also get uplift from florals. And so when you look at the blends, you can see, let's see, peace. Peace is a combination of mints and florals. Then we've got Motivate, which has mints and citrus. And so when you're looking at all these different things, like, gosh, I feel bored all the time. Well, if you're feeling bored or disinterested or disconnected or just like blah, well, maybe passion is the perfect one for you. And that's a great combination of herbs and grasses and spices. Okay, digging deeper to forgive, it is also referred to as the renewing blend. This is an amazing essential oil blend of bergamot, juniper berry, myrrh, arbor vitae, and thyme. And as you look at each one of their benefits on why they would be in this blend, bergamot is the oil for self-assurance. So if you are critical of yourself or critical of others, bergamot is going to help you to be confident, or when we're confident with ourselves, we're usually not judgmental about others, right? Juniper berry is referred to as the oil of the night. So this is also the what if. Well, what if this happens? What if that happens? Well, what if it doesn't? Like here's the flip on the story is, what if it doesn't? What if it's even better than you expected? And so this one is really great, especially across the chest. So when we were talking about um, let me find it really quick. Upper respiratory, so stress, confused, overwhelmed, seasonal allergies. Um, Forgive would be a great essential oil because it helps with everything in the chest, right? Over the heart, and being able to forgive all the things that are happening for us, not to us. Here's that comfort in a bottle, and you'll see why people love it so much. Sandalwood, rose, patchouli. Now, ylang ylang is in here. Ylang ylang is the inner child oil. It's reminding us that, gosh, everything doesn't have to be perfect. I work with a business coach and a personal coach, and she taught me that, I am a recovering perfectionist, and everything doesn't have to be perfect. Like we get to go through life and learn from it, and just have fun. And we still get to be responsible, but we can have fun doing it. Okay, so beyond the emotion oils, we also have oils for mood. Now, these four oils are Balance was my gateway oil. This was the one that brought me into doTERRA. And you guys remember when I said I was, you know, feeling like a bucket full of mess and that I was a hair trigger and the littlest things would trip me out. And then pretty soon, and I know it was because of just a lot of different life and just shoving things down. So when I would open up the Balance and I would smell it, it would completely help me feel grounded. Like, okay, I can do this. Like, I'm going to be okay. So I love that you can say, if you were somebody who is always stressed and just could not ever find yourself peaceful or feeling a lot of joy, then Balance might be the oil that you go for. If you're somebody who is feeling, sad a lot, or maybe you are a hair trigger, Serenity, you guys, is one that I still today use multiple times. And you would think after this much time that I would not need it anymore, but life still happens for me. So I'm continuously working on, what can I discover? Like, why is this happening for me? And what do I need to learn? Okay, now we have some really great tools. If you have not gotten the Emotions and Essential Oils book, I highly, highly recommend it. This was one that I get the whole herb thing. I was raised with herbs and, all that kind of stuff. But when people talked about emotions and oils and their benefit, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'm really going to buy into that. But the longer that I studied, the more that I have learned, the more that's where I usually go to first. And I swear, if you look up a word and you read it, and it might describe part of, who you are or what you're feeling like, and you might look at it and go, no, this really doesn't. But you could hand that same thing to your close friend, and they're going to read it and go, yeah, no, this is you exactly. So really, sometimes it's just like one sentence. But I love this book because it tells us, what do we want to feel more of? What do we want to feel less of? And we kind of get to be like these little investigators on, how do I want to let it work for me? And then it's just being consistent. So in all cases, when you're finding an oil and you've discovered it, first thing we're going to do is we're going to smell it. We're going to apply it topically wherever the body needs support. Sometimes you may have somebody who's going, okay, I just picked, geranium and it says, love and trust. But yet my, center of my bottom left foot hurts. Okay, well, let's look at the reflex chart and find out what body organ is there. And it just happens to be the heart. So you could put it on say the foot hurts. So we could put it on that spot on the foot, or we could apply it right over the heart. I also love this because it gives us, we're going to apply it. We're going to have something that we're going to affirm. Like this is where we're telling the story, but we're telling it in a new way. And then we can affirm it and we get to visualize it. Serenity is the one that is featured here. And you guys, we have an entire system, everything from the essential oil, which has 250 drops. We now have a new Serenity sleep stick, which I use if I am feeling anxious at all. Like say, during the middle of the day, somebody, upsets me or whatever, I'll just take that Serenity stick and just put it right across my chest. I also wear it on my wrist, like perfume quite often, and I love the capsules. I'll take 1 or 2 capsules, and I'll take one and I'll swallow it, and I'll take the other one and maybe bite it in my mouth. Now, you guys, I'm pretty extreme. Like I'm like the Energizer Bunny, right, Bobby? That is like just go, 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 go. We have all this life happening, and it's like, okay, keep on going, keep going. But I also want to be able to react and solve problems quickly. And so for some of you guys, it might be Serenity once in a while. For me, I usually take it every day for one reason or another. I love that it is the oil of tranquility because what I really want, even though my life is super full, I also want to have peace. Like, and I want to be able to have calm and I want to just be able to just go, okay, yes, this is good. So you guys get to kind of discover. So we talked about bergamot earlier being the oil of self-acceptance. And this is just a little bit of the highlights of what you'll find in the book. I love that it helps us to see that life can be good. Like, gosh, it could be really good. And we can, it can help open up our soul, and it helps to offer us hope and encouragement, and that we get to let go of all self-judgment. What if we are perfectly imperfect, and that's okay, right? And so every one of these essential oils have a story and something that they offer for us. So for change, you must change. You must change your routine. You must change the way that you say things and the way that we think about things. You guys, sometimes you can just go, when I get curious about an oil, I'm like, why do I keep thinking about that one? Or I wonder, so I'll read about it. I'll study it. I'll find out what the emotional benefits are for it. And usually it does resonate with me. Another good question is, what would you like to experience more of? Now, in a lot of cases, when I say, okay, Connie, tell me, what is it that you want to experience more of? You're going, oh, I don't really know. But I can say, what do you want to experience less of? And you can go, I want less pain, or I want more joy in my life. So when you can discover what the word is that you want to experience more or less of, then you can look that up. You guys, and if you don't have access to these books, you can go into Good Vibes and just search emotions. We've got tons of resources up in there, or reach out to the person who invited you here and go on the journey of discovery of what if I could have more peace in my life? What does that look like? Go outside, get outside, get your feet in the dirt, take a few minutes just to pause, breathe, and reflect. And then journal. You guys, if you take and start a practice of just writing 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 20 things that you're grateful for, what'll happen, and I've been in a lot of different challenges where it's like, okay, write 3 things you're grateful for every day before you go to bed at night. And we're going to do this for 30 days. And at first you're like, oh yeah, I'm grateful for the sun. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the food. And then pretty soon after about, I don't know, 5 or 10 days, you're still doing new things that you're grateful for. You'll find yourself getting even deeper into what you really are thankful and grateful for. And it's a great way to change that mindset and rewrite the story. Okay, so you guys, this can be fast. Like all the things that we talked about today, if you picked one thing that you want to focus on feeling more of or less of, you can do these simple daily habits and starting first thing in the morning. Maybe it's only 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to say one thing I'm grateful for. I'm going to, get my feet grounded. I'm going to have balance. I'm going to put it on the bottoms of my feet. Maybe I'm reading scripture or reading in my journal, getting a big glass of water, getting some movement. And you guys can also habit stack these things. So maybe you are getting your glass of water and you're listening to something that's inspiring to you while you are going on a walk, right? And so you can get a lot of these things sometimes at the same time. Now, you guys, I think mainly it's like, what do I want to experience more in my life? How quickly am I willing to bounce back from something that might set me back? Right. And when we have these things and we're going, wait, I want to bounce back faster. Life is happening for me, not to me. I am, deserving of everything. And I see myself having, better health. Also, being able to really get the foundational wellness and nutrition. Our bodies, you guys, it cannot bounce back quickly. It cannot be joyful. I do a lot of work with Boyd Truman, which is the creator of Symphony of the Cells. And I remember at one of his lectures, him saying, live in, live out, dead in, dead out. Basically, live food is going to give you live energy, lots of abundance, right? And when we're putting things that are over processed or chemically made, what kind of energy is going to come from that? And if you're looking at, joy versus, sadness, gosh, we want to be able to give our body what it needs before it needs it, so it'll have the ability to bounce back quickly. So we're going to move into my favorite product. All three of these guys are non-negotiables for me. I use these every single day. And part of it is because people who use VMG and Restore have found that when their gut is happy and healthy, their mood and their energy rises. I was working with a gal today and she said, I've missed the last 5 days on my VMG and I really need to get some more, but I ran out. And she goes, you know what I noticed? And I'm like, what did you notice? She goes, my energy and my mood. She goes, those are the first two things I noticed were not as good as when I was using it. So I got to get some today. You have some? And of course, I'm going to hook her up with it. You guys, VMG is over 90 different fruits and vegetables and minerals that are bioavailable and bioretentive, which means our body can absorb 100% of it and up for at least 8 hours. That's absolutely insane, knowing that our bodies can absorb nutrition like that for that many hours and 100% of it. So when I'm looking at diet or going out to dinner or grabbing a quick lunch, there's no way that I could possibly get all that nutrients into my body. So that's what I start with. The Omega Plus is one of the best fish oils that I've ever had. I love it because you can take them and you can just, swallow them, or you can bite them in your mouth. You can chew them up. You can spit out the casing of it, or you can swallow it. But I love it because it has omega-3 fatty acids in there that helps with the brain and our nervous system. So another one of the products is helping us to be able to regulate how we respond to things and how our bodies are wired. And then we have PB Restore, which is pre, pro, and postbiotics. Happy gut, you guys, is a happy person. I kind of think of it as a mama, right? When mama's happy, everyone else is happy. And so we really want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to have optimal microbiome, sorry, and to just be super healthy. These three things have been game changers. Everyone in my family uses them, and we use them every day. Okay, so when people get these bundles for the very first time, doTERRA wants to give us an extra special gift. So you get this glass shaker bottle, which is a really great shaker bottle. It has a little shaker part in it. I leave mine by my bathroom sink. as well as a basket with the VMG in there so that I know I'm starting my day out right, no matter what. And if it's in a cupboard or something, chances are if I'm busy or in a hurry, I might miss it. So that's why I leave it on the bathroom sink so that I can see it and I always get to use it. Now, any of these kits on the bottom, when you buy more than one doTERRA product together, so you buy just the VMG, you're going to be able to get it at wholesale pricing. But when you add the Omega onto it, you're buying below wholesale. So each kit is higher discounted than buying these products separately. The first time you purchase them, you get this gift. Now I'm going to skip over into June's promotion. So if you're watching the replay, this is only for June 2025. Some of these products are while supplies last. So the Father's Day Trio, that cute little O down on the left-hand corner that's gray, that's actually a car diffuser. So it has a little clip that you clip it onto your vent in your car, and you put the essential oil on there and it absorbs it, and then it just blows out every time that your heater or your cooler comes on. It also has Costa Brio, which is one of my favorite essential oils. Like, I bought the whole thing so that I could just get more of that oil. We're also having 10% off of our frankincense stick. So when in doubt, you guys, we talked about getting that frankincense out. There are 25 different ways to use this stick. Like I said, I use it every single day. What I'm using it for is skin imperfections. So I'm putting it on the back of my hands every day. And, if I weren't in vain, right, I would just do one, but I want both my hands to age the same. I'm also putting it across my décolleté right here on my neck, and on a couple of spots on my legs, which I am working on brown spots. You can use this for cracking heels, cracking elbows, dry skin patches. You can layer it with the deep blue rub. I love to do that. If you have a place in your body that is, a little unhappy, then, put one on and wait for a second and put the other one on. What I love about the stick is it's like a little deodorant consistency. I do know people who purchase this and use it as deodorant. So because it is the closest to your lymphatic system, right, and your breast tissue, why wouldn't we want healthy breast tissue right there? And this is a perfect solution. Okay, so if you're like me, I want the biggest, deepest discount possible. So the way that I purchase all of my doTERRA is through rewards. The first month you earn 10%. Each month it goes up 5% every 3 months until after a year, you're getting 30% back. Now, those points that you earn are just like little doTERRA dollars that go into an account. You can spend them on anything that you want, anytime that you want, as long as you have them, and they just keep adding up. I love that I get a lot of free product because I am buying things for my house. Like, everything that I have replaced from buying at the grocery store, I'm now buying from myself and I'm earning rewards points for them. I don't know another rewards program out there, including the grocery store. I think you get like 2% or something like that. We start at 10%. You guys, and at the bottom, every time you place a rewards order for 125 by the 15th, you get a free oil. You guys, this month for June, that's where you get that free bottle of frankincense. It's a $33 wholesale value, and you're getting it absolutely free just for them saying thank you for being a great customer. Now, if you are also getting one of those wellness bundles any time of the month, you will also receive that free 5 ml bottle of frankincense. So many really great things, ways that they say thanks to us. But one of my favorite other things is being able to refer my friends with no strings attached. So many times people will say to me, "Where'd you get your shoes? Where's your favorite restaurant? Did you go to the movie? Which movie was your favorite?" And nobody's ever giving me back any kind of referrals, right? Or no, here, 10% off your next meal. But with this one, anytime you log into your office, you will see of the left top side of the screen a little link. All you have to do is hit that. It copies the link and you can share it with anybody you want. Anytime they open that link and purchase something, you get rewarded. It's so easy. I love this. And why wouldn't you want to refer your friends to something that you love? You guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm super grateful. I know that we are headed into warm weather. And so there's a lot of other things that people could be doing. And so if you want to stay connected, you can receive a text class reminder that gives you the link to our Zoom class by texting 534 429 5392, and you'll text
Stayed
the
on.
class reminders. And then also, I told you we would tell you about our YouTube channel where you can find all kinds of replays. There's also from there, you can share with anybody that you know would benefit from learning about this topic or a lot of other topics. It's at Haley B Essentials 4277. And next week is we're going to be talking about Aroma Touch and Symphony of the Cells, two of my favorite ways to share oils with people who aren't sure, gosh, I don't even know, is it something that works? Well, let's figure that out. So I love being able to show people these two techniques. So make sure you join us and learn about that. Um, Thank you, you guys, again for joining us. We're going to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody who is watching the recording, but we're going to stay on and ask if anybody has any testimonials. So you guys, see you next week. And let me stop recording. Okay.